everyone, VTOUTDOORMAN here, and welcome to my first episode of Hunting Adventure Stories. I'm just going to get right into it today. So I started following my dad when I was in the woods at 5 years old and really couldn't wait to get out and start hunting on my own. So when I turned 12, I went to a conservation camp for a week and ended up taking the hunter safety there and passing it. So my first year deer hunting, I was 12 years old. I can still remember the first morning. I was sitting maybe no more than a half an hour, and I was sitting up on a ridge, and two does came by me at about 40 yards. And I remember my dad telling me, watch the does if they come by, keep checking, see if they're looking behind them, see if there's anything coming. And sure enough, when the does were standing there, they kept looking over their shoulder and looking over their shoulder, and eventually they kind of moved down the hill. And probably about 5 minutes later or so, I got a gray squirrel up here barking at me. Probably doesn't like me doing videos in its home, but anyway, a few minutes later, the deer, two bucks came in next to me, following the trail of the does. One was a spike horn, and one was just a nice rack deer. I don't know how many points it was because I was just so excited. First day ever deer hunting and half hour into the season, and I've got two bucks standing next to me. So at this point, I had my gun up, flipped the safety off, and perfect shot right at the nice rack deer. Gun wouldn't go off, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out, at 12 years old, trying to learn what's going on, why is the gun not shooting, and the deer kept going, and I thought for sure that I just wasn't going to get a shot at these deer. So I kind of looked down, and I was shooting a 30-30 bolt action. Well, come to find out, what ended up happening was I had knocked the bolt up on the gun just a little bit, and at that point, the gun wouldn't shoot. And I was shooting open sights at 12 years old at this point. By the time I figured out what was wrong, the deer were way down the bottom of the hill, and all I had was about a 75-yard shot, open sights, at the spike horn, which I was still more than happy to shoot. I'm not a trophy hunter whatsoever. I'm a meat hunter. Anything that I can get to put meat in the freezer is fine with me, especially for my first deer. So I took the shot, miss, and I was like, okay, so racked another shell in. Deer was still standing there, just trying to figure out what was going on. So another shot, and I see that deer kick, and I knew then I hit the deer. Wasn't sure how good. The deer took off running by me, and I look back now and it's like, oh, I easily could have put another shot in it, but I was just so excited that I'd hit a deer. So my dad had heard me shoot. He had only been sitting about 100-150 yards away from me. So after about an hour or so, I could see him coming out, and we went down and kind of took a look where the shot was to see, and we finally did find blood. I had hit the deer back a little bit more than you probably should, but I mean, 75 yards open sight at 12 years old, I was still proud I hit the deer. So it took a while. We tracked the deer down, and sure enough, ended up finding it. And I think at that point, that's what really got me hooked on hunting. Having that first experience in the woods, on my own, shooting my first deer, it just got me hooked. So I'm kind of trying to pass that on now to my kids. My daughter's going to be youth hunting this year, so we're hoping to get her a deer. She couldn't get a shot at one last year, but I mean, I owe all of my outdoors enthusiasticness, if that's a word, to my dad for just getting me out, when I was young and in the woods. So I really owe it all to him. So I mean, it's a real big special thanks to him, and I still enjoy continuing going out and hunting with him. So I got plenty more stories to come. Like I said, this is just the first installment. I got some fishing stories, some more deer hunting stories, some turkey stories, all kinds of stories. So, and maybe even some for my kids as they continue to go. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.